hello everybody. In this video I want to talk about how to load and unload a mini excavator. First thing I want to point out is there are anchor points all over this machine. There are two on either side toward the rear. There is two on either side of the blade at the front, and then on the very back end there is an anchor point up underneath. Those are where you're going to anchor your chains. Now, on some of the larger machines, I've seen the guys hook their chain up under the track. That might be okay when you're dealing with metal, steel tracks, but these are rubber. It's not going to hold the weight. You're going to tear that off. So always use your anchor points when anchoring this thing down. The next thing we're going to have here is what they call a binder. Now, some of them are screw binders where it's got a ratchet type thing that works on a large screw. You can get a lot more distance out of it than you can with just these simple binders here. There's no screw mechanism, it's just the working hinge, and that takes the tension off the chain, and then you can undo your chains. Now don't mind the fact that they put this PEX up under here. That's just a good way for them to store this rolled pipe where it won't blow off in the wind. Now this method here they've got going on, this is perfectly fine for your mini excavator, but in order to get this chain out from under here, there's no binder on this one. They've basically pulled forward, tied the chain around it, backed up a little bit, and then lowered their blade to the ground, and then they're pulling their tension back with the binder in the back. So in order to get this one off, we're going to have to crank the machine up. Now we can unwrap this one. Now you can run it through here if your hooks are small enough. The next thing is you're going to have some type of ramp. These are some heavy duty ones with a spring. Should be pretty easy to lift up and roll up. Alright, well, it's hard to get a good camera angle here, but I just want to show you. This goes for when you're dealing with your larger excavators. When you go to get this thing off the trailer, you're going to want to use that bucket. Remember, that's another arm for you. If you ever to get stuck in the mud, you got that big old arm out there that can pull you out. When you're trying to get up a hill, go down a slope, something like that, you have that extra arm, that bucket there, and there's a lot of power in it, and it can push this machine around pretty well, especially when you get into the bigger ones. Now, this machine is going to want to tip. It's going to want to go straight till it gets to a certain point, and then it's going to want to tip, and it always scares the fool out of me. But you can alleviate some of that by using that bucket, by placing it down on the ground and just kind of pushing it. Now, you want to be careful doing that on asphalt, because you could scratch up the asphalt, and we don't want to do that. The other thing would be if you're dealing with a larger excavator or track hoe and you got metal tracks, don't turn on your trailer because you'll tear your trailer up. Don't turn on the asphalt because you'll tear the asphalt up. Those things are meant to be on the dirt. But when you're dealing with rubber tracks, it's not so bad. So let's crank this thing up and see how I do. your blade back there. And it looks like I fell straight down to the ground there. Well, that was a little rough, but I haven't done it quite some time. I don't really mess with these things every day like I used to. But with these mini excavators, you don't have to really worry about that bucket and stuff. You kind of want to keep it low to the ground. You can do it like that, but you don't have to because it's such a small piece of equipment. Now, going the other way, I am going to turn around and I'm going to try to lower that thing down as much as I can to get back up on the trailer. There are a few tricks to this. You can line up on a board. A lot of times your blade will mark a little line on your on the boards of your trailer, and if you can hit that same line every time, you'll know you have a good balanced load. But that's pretty much it. Now we just have to chain it back down, going in the reverse order that we did putting it on there. remember your binder. Of course, it's going to give me a hard time. You want that to where it's tight and it'll lock in. The other thing you can do is kind of wrap your chain around it to hold it in place. But that's the basics of it. These little mini excavators are not so bad. It's when you're dealing with some of the larger ones. They can be kind of fun getting them on and off the trailer. But most of the time you're not dealing with something, a truck and a trailer. You're dealing with like a lowboy being pulled behind a semi-truck. It works a little bit different. So the next step here is we're going to pull our ramps up, and then we're going to walk around and just kind of check, make sure this trailer is ready to roll. Well, the trailer hitch and the trailer coupling here are pretty much about the same as any trailer. It's just larger and more heavy duty. One of the big differences on a big trailer you're going to notice is this little safety cord here that goes to your brakes. If this thing were to ever let loose, it's going to snap, pull this little pin, and it's going to lock the brakes down on your trailer. But like all trailers, you got safety chains here. You're going to want to hook those up. I've seen these things hop off, and those safety chains have done their job to keep this thing from getting out of control. And then of course you have your plug that works your brake lights, and it also works your trailer brakes. This trailer is equipped with a jack, but most of the time we don't use those because they can wear out over time. Most of the time our trucks are going to stay hooked up like this, or we do have access to a forklift that can lift this up, because this guy's heavy. You're not picking this up and carting this around. But that's the basic gist of it. Just be careful out there, and good luck.